isn't it amazing that the violence in South Africa that's going on right now, but that Obama was in South Africa just last month to foment racial tension? We are back. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on the 29th of August, 2018. Yeah. You know, if you're not in the chat room, you are really, really missing out. Okay. We have the most brilliant people in the chat room. They remember things when we're on air, and I'm worried about this and that and all these different things and technical stuff. And they remember the things that we kind of missed, or forgot about. All right. For instance, we were just discussing about what's going on in South Africa and what Brooks was discussing, the income inequality discussion. During the break, one of our chatters reminded us that it's amazing that the violence in South Africa that's going on right now, but that Obama was in South Africa just last month to foment racial tension.
That's correct. And the basis of this is there was a realization, a statistical report that was done that showed that 90% of the, quote, profitable farms in South Africa were owned by white people. This was considered income inequality. And so the president, Rouhani, decided, or not Rouhani, but the president of the union decided that this was not going to stand. These farms were going to be expropriated without payment, and they were going to be given to poor blacks. And that's exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. And they took the farms, they killed the white people that were on the farms. One man, they didn't kill him, but they took a pair of pliers and they pulled his eyeballs out.
Jesus.
They took his farm. And so what's going to happen is, in a very short amount of time, same as Zimbabwe, they're going to eat all the food, they're going to eat all the livestock, they're going to eat all the seed, they're going in the wells, and then they're going to starve. Now,
and the land is going to go fallow again, and the same old problem that they had before is going to just happen again.
Now, what happened was recently gun owners in South Africa have been required to get a license for their gun. Now, this is a renewing license, and the licenses can expire. Like they have to be renewed like every 90 days. This was confirmed by a constitutional court, and it happened Thursday with National Police spokesman Brigadier Vishnu Naidu confirming that those who failed to do so would be arrested and their guns would be taken away from them. Who's armed? The white farmers are armed. Once the white farmers are disarmed, then their property is taken from them. And Lucky is exactly correct. This is a type and a shadow of what is planned right here in the US of A.
There's obviously there's somebody that's upset about the black versus white and how bad things were done by white people to black people. Let me explain something real quick. You want to continue on the things about what happened in the past and what the white people have done to the black people. It needs to be known that white people were slaves also. White people have been abused also. Just look at the Irish history. If you ever read the history of the Irish people. Before we get too, really exclamatory, there's slavery going on right now. There's a slave trade. It's a huge slave trade going on right now through Africa. Okay. And they're selling black slaves. Sub-Saharan Africans are being sold in Saharan Africa and to Saudi Arabia, all the different Middle Eastern countries. And the horrible things that are being done to the people. I shudder, okay, seeing the pictures in real time. This is 2018, folks. This is 2018. This is not ancient sepia colored pictures from 18 whatever and 19 whatever. No. This is happening this year.
Correct.
There's a huge slave market. And to sit there and not acknowledge that and sit there and complain about what white people did when, and you don't even know the history, don't get me started, because you know what? Irish people were slaves too. All right. And I don't see anybody coming to their defense. Actually, people poo-poo anything that the Irish people say about being slaves. So I really, you want me to be sympathetic to you? It's not going to work. Because there is not a race on this planet that has not been a slave. There is not a race on this planet that wasn't a slaver. So everybody shut the hell up and move on and get on with life and start promoting life and stop letting Planned Parenthood kill off a freaking species of people. I'm about to go off. I need to mute because I'm really angry now. Okay, Brooks, take over.
All right, I'll take over. Yes, Planned Parenthood is billion-dollar butchery. It was founded to be so. It was targeted on poor people of color. And to this day, just this year, and I'm talking from January 2018 till today, 25 million abortions have been performed worldwide. And I hate to tell you this, but over 60% of them, 66% of them, in fact, are black. And the vast majority of them are female. So now you see what's going on. It is a targeted, organized, international effort to eliminate one race from this planet. And the bad part about it is the Democrats doing it. In fact, it was the Democrats of this country of 1848, the Democrats of this country that taught the Nazis how to do what they did. The Democrats of this country taught the genocide to the Nazis. Those are facts. If you don't believe me, go see the documentary yourself, Death of a Nation. Go watch it. I dare you. Go watch it. Get yourself educated. Know what you're talking about. And then we can move on. Because the day we understand who's behind it, why they are behind it, how much money we're talking about, billions of dollars that is laundered, taxpayer dollars that are laundered through Planned Parenthood back to the Democrat Party. The Republican Party doesn't get money from Planned Parenthood. That's not their mechanism for funding. Why do you think every single Democrat pushes to keep Planned Parenthood funded with your money? Because they get some of it. They can't win their elections without it. So we have an opportunity in 70 days, November 6th of this year. We have an opportunity, believe it or not. You may not know this, but we can send them all. Lee, Waters, Lewis, Green, we can send all of them home for good. We can replace all of them in November. We don't have to hear another word that they say. We don't have to put up with another riot. We don't have to put up with Antifa. We don't have to put up with being beaten. We don't have to put up with our guns being seized and our property being invaded. All we have to do is send them home. It's so simple. That's all we have to do. Now maybe Lucky can come back and join us.
Yes, I can. That's what it is. It's just instigation. People trying to divide again, because together we could do so much. Divided, they win. And who's they? The person that's carrying on in the chat room trying to instigate stuff. Let me explain something to you. You're not going to win. You know why? Because you're not one of the elites. You're not one of the royal families. Let's get that clear right now.
I agree. No, I like our chat room. We have it free speech in the chat room as long as you don't personally attack anybody or start throwing labels around. That's fine. But I personally, I'm just speaking for myself. I'm sick and tired of hearing about the color of people's skin. Stop it.
Yeah, because we're human beings. We're on this planet. We're all together. We're earthlings. Let's just think about it that way. Okay. We've got we've got a greater enemy, people. Don't you understand? Death is a big enemy, and the people who promote death, I've had enough. And if you don't realize who the real enemy is, it's all semantical. And that's the thing. We need to be aware of what's going on.
Find your quantum connections at tfrlive.com.